sounds. Awesome. Welcome you guys to tonight. So tonight is just me and Jaclyn hanging out. She is coming at a little bit different perspective from me. So I'm a personal trainer, been in the training game just for pretty much general population. And I don't want anyone to, hear that and think it's a negative thing. But I don't work with specialty athletes who need to perform at a high level and have a body composition. So Jaclyn's coming at it from a little bit different perspective, but what she wants to talk about is bulletproofing your metabolism. Because as we've talked about in the past, anytime that you do extreme calorie restriction, extreme cardio-based workouts, from those things, not focusing on your sleep, all these other things that kind of accumulate to where you are today, because make no mistake about it, you're the perfect result of the lifestyle that you've been living for the past 6, 8, 10 months, years, decades, whatever. So she's going to come at you with the bulletproofing your metabolism. And first off, just say thanks for joining us, Jaclyn.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Love doing this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just to give you guys a bit of a background on who I am, my name's obviously Jaclyn. You guys can see these medals behind me. These are all weightlifting medals. I did spend a good 5 years competing in weightlifting, and that's who we work with. Mainly we work a lot with people who do weightlifting, who CrossFit, and who powerlift, and who are looking to lose weight, lean out without sacrificing performance, because as we know, powerlifting and weightlifting are weight class sports. So a lot of people are having to cut down for weight classes, but even CrossFit is a very performance driven sport. So we've really niched down in that realm. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to bulletproof your metabolism. And basically what that means is how to build resilience towards, just eating the shit that you want without gaining body fat. That's probably the best way to put it. So I'm going to give you guys 5 ways that you can essentially bulletproof your metabolism, or just build some metabolic resilience. So a lot of this stuff, by the way, is stuff that you guys have probably heard before. We're just drilling it in even more. But the first one we're going to talk about today is just eating enough protein. So protein is super important. It helps us build muscle. It keeps us satiated. And it's one of the best or highest thermogenic macronutrients out of all 3 macronutrients. And you guys are probably wondering what the heck does that mean? Basically, what it means is when you guys eat protein and digest it, you're actually burning calories as you digest your protein, which helps increase our metabolism. So typical guideline, I don't know what Ryan recommends for you guys, but we give you guys a range anywhere between 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound body weight. Lower end if you're sedentary, that's what you should be aiming for. Higher end if you are someone that is trying to build mass and muscle. We also recommend a higher range of protein for athletes. We have a lot of strongman competitors, or just competitors in general who are needing to sustain a certain amount of strength. So that's the range we give you. And we typically say goal weight. So if you are 200 pounds and you want to get down to 150, you want to set your protein at 150 grams. So the important thing though about protein is when we eat protein, we obviously build muscle in conjunction with strength training, which we're going to touch on next. And the more or higher lean body mass we have, the more calories we burn at rest. Having muscle is obviously a very unfair advantage. When I say that, I mean you can literally sit here like I am talking to you guys, and burn calories while I'm just sitting here. So protein obviously is super, super important. Point number 2. This is obviously in conjunction with eating protein, lifting weights. Lifting is going to burn more calories than cardio. Let me say that again. Lifting weights is going to burn more calories than cardio. As much as you guys think when you go to the gym and you're on the elliptical, or you're doing sprints, or maybe you're doing a ton of HIIT, high intensity interval training, as much as that feels like you're burning a lot of calories, it might not be. It's definitely more beneficial for you guys to be lifting weights, because when you guys lift weights, you are breaking down muscle tissue. In order to repair that muscle tissue, our body is using up a lot of energy. So not only are we burning calories during the workout, we're burning calories after the fact. And this obviously leads to a higher metabolism, right?
I love that point, honestly, because one thing that I love about her, so when I went through a hard time in my life, I was consuming a lot of calories. I was an emotional eater. I binge eat all the time. I still suffer from it a little bit, but I also have a little bit of muscle mass. And I really genuinely think that if I had a normal, normal amount of body, muscle mass, I would have weighed probably 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
The other really cool thing about, I was also in the boat where like I need to go lose all this weight. And I had a little my zone strap and I was wearing like, oh, I got 200 MEPs. I got 500 or 700 calories in my cycling class burned. And the really hard truth about cardio-based performance is how fast your body adapts and how you get like really efficient. So like day one, you burn 700 calories and it's probably going to keep spitting out a number just like that, but you're not putting out that much more effort. And so like, I don't know if you would actually, I'd be very interested to see somebody like hook up to a treadmill and like a kilometer where they're actually measuring how much like CO2 you're putting out.
Totally.
I don't believe that the majority of those calorie burning app trackers are accurate.
Hell no.
I heard some bad numbers. I'm not going to throw anybody on their bus, but like I heard like they're 20% accurate, like 80% misinformation.
That's horrible.
Scares me if that's like how you derive how good your workout was.
And that's how like a lot of people base like even their prescription off of that, like their macro prescription, they're based on like how many calories they burn in the day.
But then for strength purposes,
and that too,
I got more weight on the bar. I did more reps. I felt better doing overhead shoulder presses. Like you can physically see and feel the changes compared to like cardio. Is like, all right, my measurement says I burn more calories.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah. Cut you off. Keep going.
No. Like I love this. I love like conversing about the topic. And I think a lot of people get caught up in like, because when they do cardio, they feel like they worked hard. They think they're burning more calories and they're just like shredding body fat. And that's where a lot of our CrossFitters get caught up, right? They just want to do like tons and tons of like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like CrossFit lingo, but like WODs, workout of the day, or Metcons, which are like super, super, super high intensity. Like you are literally leaving everything on the floor, but it's only like 10 minutes, and everyone's just thinking like that's the solution when in reality it's not. So lifting weights is obviously where it's at.
I struggled with the Metcons personally. Like when I did the open one time, just with my gym, like not officially, I have never been more hungry in my life than following one of those like really hard, like 10-minute workouts where you warm up and feel good. And then you're just pushing limits, which is, it's amazing to kind of like see what your body can do. But if that's like your continual thing all day in and day out, it takes a lot of calories to rebuild and repair from that. And if you don't like, I don't have like a great sense of like hunger cueing because like I was starving and I was eating my protein, I was eating fiber, I was eating like healthy following. And it just, that's one thing that kind of like shocked me. Cause I'm like, I thought, it'd be easier to lose weight, but when you're starving all the time because you're burning so many calories, quote unquote, or, just giving your body the sensation that you're working that hard. That was probably the scariest thing when it came for me, who has an eating issue or emotional eating.
100%. And I think the other thing too, is people don't realize like when you're operating at that intensity, like your energy source is coming from carbs. It's not coming from fat, but it's like a mind, excuse my language, fuck, because of the feeling, right? I'm burning this fat, like I'm exercising hard, I'm sweating like crazy. Then when we look at something like low steady state cardio, like you're using fats as the energy source, but you're not sweating and you're not breathing heavy. So people kind of have this like illusion in their head. And that's where, our CrossFitters especially get caught up. And we have to be like, if you just like backed off the hit and the WODs, like you guys would lean out a little bit more quicker than you want, but it's such a hard concept to wrap their mind around. Right. So guys, going back to what I was saying, lifting weights obviously is like super, super important in conjunction with eating protein. You're getting the calorie burn during and post workout. And we already touched on the fact that like you will literally burn more calories at rest. I always like to bring up the example of like two people standing side by side. They weigh the exact same. The person with higher LBM or lean body mass is going to burn more calories laying on the beach drinking a pina colada than the person that has way more body fat.
Again, pina colada is like your drink of choice.
Oof. On a beach or like in general?
A beach. I want to know like your beach drink and then so you guys, Jaclyn's from Canada. So we're from Wisconsin, so it's like probably the same climate, maybe a little colder.
Yeah, pretty similar, I think.
What's your drink of choice? Just so like people know that you're human, right? Or not.
Totally. So yeah, if I'm on the beach, it's going to be something fruity and fun. When I went on an all-inclusive trip, I was like, you get one fruity drink a day that has a shitload of calories. That's it. That's all you get. That was my rule. So I would say like, probably a pina colada or daiquiri. But if I'm going out like with my husband, it's going to be a craft beer 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I've been through the ringer. I love daiquiris, like poolside for sure. Like a
Yep.
strawberry daiquiri, I feel like would be great. I kind of go to tequila water with lime or vodka,
Mhm.
soda, lemon and lime,
Ah, yeah.
hard liquor, or we have a bunch of breweries in the area. So
Oh, the best.
yeah, just switch it up. Seasonal porter,
Yeah.
stout, IPA, summer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all
I
over the
love
place.
ciders too. Like ciders around this time of year leading up to like Thanksgiving is our Thanksgiving is in a couple of weeks. I know you guys is yours is like in a while, but yeah, I definitely like to have my drink or two. We are human, guys. As much as we are
Yeah.
nutrition coaches, we do like to have some fun.
Yeah, take me off the pedestal. Even though I hit my macros perfectly today, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like
I
pretty
love
excited, but
that.
like it's been a minute, and I
I
finally like
love that.
fell in line. I'm done eating for the day. I don't have to think anymore.
Really? Oh man,
Yeah.
I'd be sad. I still have a creamy in the freezer waiting for me and I can't
Oh yeah.
wait. Yeah, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Um, cool. So we touched on 1 and 2. Step number 3, guys, is getting in more steps. So you guys might have heard the concept before of like NEAT. It stands for like non-exercise activity thermogenesis, super like large term. You're probably like, what the hell does that even mean? Basically means like you are doing activities that unintentionally burn calories. So like fidgeting, cleaning, going up the stairs, bringing groceries in the door, raking leaves. What else? Just tapping on a desk. So
Moving, walking,
yeah, moving, exactly. Moving,
cooking,
walking,
cleaning. Yeah.
cooking, exactly. Cooking, that's another good one. Doing your hair, ladies. These are all ways that you're going to burn extra calories without like thinking about it. So that is one area that we really recommend our clients bump up, and just some simple things that you guys can do to help increase your NEAT levels, like park far away from like a storefront, take the stairs instead of the elevator, grab like, I don't know. What I like to do is when I go grocery shopping, just grab 2 bags at a time. So you're like continually going back and forth in between the door and the car, because it will increase your step count.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. If you're in the house and you're working, I'm on the 2nd floor, go to the 1st floor to use the washroom, walk around the table before you go into the kitchen to get something to eat. So these are like ways that you guys can super easily increase your step count without thinking about it. Just like super, super simple things. I mean, they have these like walking pads now that you shove under desks. I've never seen them until like literally a month ago. I know they've existed for a long time. If you guys want to work from home, Amazon sells them for like $300. They're pretty amazing. But the point is, this is all going to lead to higher energy output or a higher calorie burn and an increased appetite, right? The more calories we burn, the more appetite we're going to like curb up, and the more essentially you guys can eat, right? Especially for those of you that are maybe in like a reverse diet or like a metabolic reset phase. This is like one of the best things you can do for your metabolism. So that's step number 3. Step number 4, everyone's favorite topic, is sleep more and manage stress.
Yeah.
These are obviously very overlooked when it comes to like a fat loss transformation, but you guys have to remember when there's a shortage of food, so we're under eating, and for a lot of people it's unintentional. For most it is intentional because they want to lose weight that way. When there is a shortage of food and an abundance of stress, so guys, stress from exercise, we have to remember when we exercise we are under stress, and just stress from life, right? Like emotional stress, work stress, family stress, whatever, your metabolism will downregulate. So it's really, really important that you guys are obviously eating enough food to help offset the stress that is being created from external things. Sorry, I was just kind of
Can you explain like the down regulation, like how that works? I think that is such a cool like way to look at it, because like if it down regulates, like by definition, so when you go into what you think is a deficit, it's not going to put you in a deficit because you're not moving as much. It's telling your body's like literally subconsciously slowing you down and not give you that motivation or that extra energy to go, get your steps in or anything like
exactly. And like shuts off appetite. I don't know how many people say like, I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat. Well, it's because like you're not eating, so your metabolism slows down and it just becomes easier to not want to eat. But this is a good point, right? Because like kind of like what you were saying there, Ryan, just to kind of go off of that, like if you guys are struggling to lose weight and you're not eating enough and you're doing a ton of exercise, like there's obviously an abundance of stress that is causing your metabolism to basically resist fat loss at all costs. Right? So stress is like management is super important. I think the biggest excuse we get from clients is like, I don't have time to manage stress. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You guys can like go for a walk, take a bath, read 10 pages of a book before you go to bed. It's literally just taking like 5, 10, 15 minutes of quiet time and putting it into your day to like detach yourself from all of the noise, because we are all busy. We all have kids and we're in jobs and commitments. We're literally just like go, 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 go. So stress management is super, super important. And then sleep, obviously, the other area that a lot of people struggle to manage, 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. I don't care if you say you function on 5 hours of sleep. That is total bullshit. Not possible. You obviously haven't felt good or you don't know what it feels like to feel good. So good sleep hygiene, right? Just making sure that you guys are getting into bed at a reasonable time and waking up at a reasonable time. Like if you're getting up at 6, making sure you're in bed by like, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock latest type thing. But all this is leading to helping manage stress, because you guys also have to remember, when you don't sleep enough and there's a lack of sleep, guess what stays elevated? Your cortisol levels. So all of this is just leading to basically a shitty and sluggish metabolism that is going to resist fat loss. And I think this area, sleep and stress, is so overlooked when it comes to a fat loss transformation. I'm assuming you would agree, Ryan, with like.
I do agree. I do. No, and it's funny that you say that too, when you're talking about like nighttime routines and having good sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many conversations. Honestly, I just had this conversation with my wife. You know, she decompresses after a long day. And I'm not gonna lie, like our nighttime routine, like I enjoy Mondays because we put down Wells and then I come down here and then she hangs out, or sorry, we put down Lincoln, our youngest. I come down here, we put down Wells, my oldest, and he's kind of hard to get down. Like he wants to hang out. He gets like hungry all of a sudden. He's got to go to the bathroom. He wants his truck. He wants his blanket. He wants it's like, yeah, it's cute for the first 10 seconds. And then like, like 30 minutes later, it's kind of stressful. So like, you know, once that process is done and he's down and he's sleeping, she wants to decompress. And like how most people decompress. Like, so if I would just like go to a random, I don't know, group of people, how do you decompress? Well, I have a glass of wine. I watch TV. I watch my, you know, my guilty pleasures. I scroll on social media. I see on Facebook, you know, I check up on my Instagram, you know, like a lot of people like with work, like I check work emails afterwards. And it's like how you decompress. Like the best thing that my wife could do is probably fall asleep with Wells at 8:30. So she can wake up. But she wants that time back to herself. And then ironically, she gets it. She like stays awake till like 9:30, 10:30, you know, like doing things around the house, cleaning or whatever, organizing. And then the next day when she planned on waking up at 5:30 to, you know, go for a walk, go, you know, do like prep for the next day, she's tired. She hits a snooze. And, you know, this is just a example that hit home because it was my home, but like, this is so common because like, I think the best thing that you could possibly do is just go to sleep, shut it down. That is like the best form of self-love, is having boundaries for yourself and doing things that are going to serve you more than not. And like, I know it's like everybody's got guilty pleasures and shows that they want to watch. And there's always going to be a time for that. Like I guarantee what's important gets done. And if that's important to you, it'll get done eventually. But like set some hard boundaries, 9:30, 9:45, whatever it is for you guys to shut. Like I made an agreement with myself that I need to focus on sleep and being like the best version of myself so I can, you know, lose the weight or, you know, decrease the stress or, you know, take care of my family better. That's a super simple one that will get pushed over and over. It's like, oh, but I just want to, you know, just chill and not think for a while. Well, don't think with your head on the pillow while you're trying to sleep. That's the way I'm like, I love sleeping. I've always found a benefit from it. When I was like the most stressed, it was when I was like watching Seinfeld to like, you know, midnight or 1 a.m, or, you know, like getting lost in another Netflix series and not like the next day, my diet was off, or, you know, like my workouts were suffering because I was so tired. And then, you know, you flounder and people are wondering like, I'm trying to lose weight. Well, if you're staying awake late at night, not sleeping, and then harder to wake up, you want to hit snooze. It's just this very like, you're not winning for yourself. You're not winning on the scale. You're not winning with your self-confidence. Your self-esteem's in a hit because you're prioritizing Vanderpump Rules over sleep.
It's so true. No, it's so no, it's so true. And like I find when I'm the most stressed when I like am on my phone till like late hours of the night. So like my husband and I made agreement that like boundaries for us, like 9 o'clock, phones away. It's like we're done for the night. Like they have to be away from us. So like, we're spending quality time with each other, but like there's no scrolling and shit, because that will, and then that obviously affects sleep, because there was a period of time in my life where like I was training for a national competition and I had a coach at the time, nutrition coach, and we made the agreement that like in bed by a certain time, phone off, and by a certain time, and like my sleep was substantially better. Felt more rested, just felt like more like mental clarity. Like I just don't think people realize how important sleep is, especially when it comes to fat loss.
For fat loss, hormone regulation.
So
That's
many
like
things.
how you get any guy. Like if you guys are talking, anybody, I don't know how many guys are listening to this right now. If you're a guy, the only time that testosterone is produced is while you're sleeping. So if you got erectile dysfunction, you got low energy, if you have all that shit, and you do all the workouts to build your testosterone, you're taking all the supplements to build your testosterone. If you're not sleeping 8 hours at night, you're not building it. And for females, like testosterone is important too. It's not like just a sex hormone. Yeah, sorry.
No, this is good.
Like, I think that's like, so yeah, it's so missed.
It is. And I think, I know this might be too much information or TMI, but like, dudes, if you're not waking up with morning wood, you have a problem. It's probably because your sleep cycle's fucked up or you're too stressed out. Like that is important. I don't think a lot of people recognize that, or a lot of guys realize that, right? So lots of good points to just like touch on here regarding sleep and stress. It always gets like just put on the back burner, I find.
That's why one reason I do like working with guys, and like, because when I'll tell them, like, when you go into a deficit, you're probably going to lose that at some point, morning wood. And like that's the time when, like, all right, not saying it's like a bad thing, but like we know we shouldn't live here forever, because it's literally your body's telling you that you're not in a good state to procreate. And if you're not in a good state to procreate, you're probably not in a good state to lose fat. Like just if your body's not like, hey, I'm so healthy right now, I want to bring another child into this world. Well, if you're in that state, that's a pretty good tell that you're ready to lose weight. Ironically, that was one thing that I never knew when I was going to get into coaching, how many people would get pregnant while working with us. Like,
I love that.
I've had 4 people over the past year that like they were trying or, not trying or, whatever. I don't know 100% of stories. I'm not going to go into them, but I do know like they started, feeling really good. They started being healthier and taking care of themselves in a different way than they have in the past. Eating enough food and like getting enough healthy fats in their body for their cycle to come back. Like I had somebody that had a cycle come back after like 2 years of not having one.
That's amazing.
And she's like, she knew it was normal or irregular to not have it. But she didn't know why. She thought it was like she was in such a stressed state, and like that was the case, but she also wasn't eating, like, a lot of other things going on. So
that's
really
it's
cool.
crazy.
I love hearing those stories.
It is so cool, like just to hear like those, because those are like life-changing stories. So yeah, no, some really good points to just take note of there. Cool. Okay, so we got one more point left, and it's probably something Ryan talks a lot about in this group, but stop chronically dieting. It is 100%. So guys, like we talked about earlier, shortage of food, abundance of stress causes your metabolism to downregulate. This is literally what we're talking about here. Chronically dieting, under eating, whether it's intentional or unintentional, your metabolism will downregulate so much to a point where it will resist fat loss. So if you are stuck losing weight, and you're burning the candle at both ends, is what we call it, under eating and over exercising, this is probably why, because your metabolism sucks. So we also talked about hunger cues disappearing, right? If you don't eat enough, at some point, your hunger cues will absolutely 100% shut off. It just becomes super, super easy to not want to eat. That's why a lot of people end up skipping breakfast, maybe having some lunch, and then just like binging at dinner. Not a good scene. You guys obviously have to make sure that you're eating food to boost your metabolism. And the analogy I love using here is like 2 fires side by side. If we have one fire that's being fed firewood, it's going to grow. The fire is going to grow. If we have another fire that's not being fed firewood, it's going to burn out. So that's literally what is happening to your metabolism if you are not feeding it food enough, right? Your metabolism is going to burn out. So the solution is to obviously eat more, to help regulate your metabolism, right? Eating every 3 to 4 hours, balanced meals, right? Hitting protein, carb, fat, fruit, or vegetable to help balance blood sugars, and just like not going through long bouts of throughout the day without eating, because this can all essentially lead to a plateau in your weight loss journey, but also weight gain. I don't think a lot of people recognize like if you undereat for too long, how it can really, cause you to gain weight or just like store body fat. Right. So all in all, protein, lifting weights, getting more steps in, managing sleep, stress, and no longer chronically dieting leads us to building a healthy and what we call bulletproof metabolism.
I love it. So could you get, like, just for context for you, I would love to hear some strategies that you've had for yourself or for your clients. Like, so when it comes to like weight training or eating, like throw some numbers in the mix, like how many days a week, like if you had zero time for yourself, say you're a super busy executive mother of 3, or if you did have like, 2 to 3 extra hours a day to just fill with healthy activities.
Yeah, 100%.
Give us some numbers, give us some scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, like we work with a ton of parents who are super busy, and we tell them like 30 to 45 minutes, like 3 days a week to start. That's literally it. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And I think that's where all people also get caught up, is like they think it has to be an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. No, it doesn't. Like an effective workout can be done within 30 to 45 minutes, 3 times a week. We always recommend a minimum of 3 times a week. But if you're someone that's coming from a background of doing 0 strength training and you start working out once a week, you're going to start to see benefit. The goal is to like build up, right? Build the amount of sessions up. Yeah. And if you can build the length of time up, great. But like you can still get an effective workout in that short period of time.
That's so interesting too, because I was talking, Jamie Baruso, she's just posted something that Beachbody is essentially just cardio with weights.
Yeah.
And then she kind of got attacked from that end. And then she's like, oh, but it's like really good for, if you can't do anything. And people like always ask me, like, what do you think about Orange Theory and F45 and boot camps? And I'll be like, if you would talk to me 6 years ago, I'm like, it's the best thing in the world. You're going to get cardio, you're going to get strength, it's camaraderie, it's fun, it's enjoyment, it's like a good activity. Like you're going to get healthier if you're not doing anything and you step into those realms. I guarantee you, like, I don't hate on it at all. But man, if you've been doing that for a long time and you're not where you want to be, that's really hard to hear. Like you're investing a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of calorie burn, a lot of whatever. And if you're doing that year in and year out and not where you want to be, I think that you should be able to have your dream physique. All right. Let's say this, if you're within 30 pounds of your ideal goal weight, you should be able to achieve your dream physique in no longer than 2 years. Like a 2-year commitment of multiple different like reverse diets and healthy fat loss phases and appropriate strength conditioning and appropriate cardio. You will be surprised with what you can be. If you want more than that, like I'm just saying it to be safe, right? If you want to do 50 pounds, maybe that's possible. I'm not certain about like where you're coming from, but I can say with like confidence, if you have like 30 pounds or so to lose, you should be able to lose that in the first year. In the second year, you should be able to build up muscle to really see a lot, coming through in that tone and that definition that you're looking for, that, to get as lean as possible. So I was just talking to somebody earlier, like last week, and they're like, they work out 5 days a week for an hour and a half a day. And then they do cardio after. And I was like, how long have you been doing that? And they're like, well, at least for, I think it was like 6 months. Man, that's great. She's like, she loves lifting. She loves doing it. She's got so much time. I'm like, well, how much have you like, changed over that 6 months? And she's like, maybe like 10, 12 pounds. And I'm like, that broke my heart. Cause I'm like, there's something missing. If you have an hour, I had an hour and a half with somebody every day. Like if you have dialed in nutrition, you should be absolutely crushing in 6 months. 100%. You should not have another like 30, 40 pound goal to like lose in my eye. So
no, it's so true.
You said that, I love hearing that. So what we do is I'll meet anybody where they're at. For instance, I had somebody, I wanted her to know exactly how to build a total body workout. So I'm like, here's a list of like a push, pull, squat, hinge, like single.
Love that. Yeah.
And I was like, pick 2 a day. I want you doing 3 sets of 10. And then I want you to just do one more thing for like another 3 sets of 10 to get like 4 exercises. I'm like, just call it your like 100 rep workout.
Yeah.
And that's all she does. And she's going to pick like, I think lunges and push-ups one day, or
easy
arm row. Like it's super simple.
It's so simple.
It's just every day she does something, and it's 20 to 30 minutes. Probably shouldn't take longer than that for her, because she is super busy.
Yeah.
But like when the coolest thing that we were talking about, I'm like, if you do this just for the next 30 days, you're gonna have 30 new workouts that you can pull at any point.
Exactly.
If you want to like tune it up a little bit, we can talk about programming.
Yeah.
Like that's what the difference is from like getting started into exercise into actual programming and then, programming at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would put Jaclyn at this higher level, of her clients. I'm an exercise enthusiast because I liked working out when I was 13 years old, and it gave me confidence for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I do it because it's a hobby of mine, and I feel good in the gym. I feel confident in the gym. I'm not trying to step on any stage. I'm not stepping on any podiums, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it just so I can. Well, now I'm doing it so I can like for sure kick my kids' ass for like their whole life.
I love that. That's awesome.
I never want my kids to like, they have to earn the right to beat me in like one-on-one basketball.
That's the best.
So yeah, hard lessons to come for those little guys. But
yeah, I love
that's
that.
what I'm doing. So like if you guys have a good why and a good passion or a good reason, like you don't need to go to the extreme of like this Olympic level programming if you want to just get started. And I think that's where people get like really kind of scared or afraid, is because they're like, I have to do 5 days a week, an hour and a half workouts. Like when? Like, at 4 a.m. But she said I need to sleep.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It's like all starts to become very contradicting. No, I think a good point that you said there was just like meeting people where they're at, because if you get the people that aren't doing anything at all, they're 100% going to progress if they just start working out 1 to 2 times a week.
Yeah.
And the days that you guys can't work out, like just try to get your steps in. The stuff we talked about, like how to increase your step count, how to increase your energy output. Super simple. Just don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. And I always come back to, it's like that self-efficacy of what you say you do. And when you don't do what you say you want to do, it's just this mental defeat. And I think that's where people get like caught up a lot. Is like, oh, like this week was the week I was gonna food prep on Sunday. Well, your food prep should only last maybe like Wednesday or Thursday. Like,
it's like
no one wants to eat reheated chicken on Friday night with like gross asparagus that's like been,
just like
not getting, not getting into like the morning wood conversation again, but that's an okay strategy. How long are you gonna be able to do that? Because eventually you're gonna get sick of reheated rice and broccoli and stuff. So, find new strategies. Maybe you do a midweek prep and it's just veggies, or it's just, protein, or, whatever. Me personally, I just love grilling on Sundays. I grill a bunch of things on Sundays. I thaw out things on Tuesday night so they're ready to go by Wednesday dinner. And then like Wednesday dinner, then I have like Wednesday and then Thursday meals. And then usually Thursday night is something like taco night. So it's super simple. And then that goes with my breakfast, my lunch for Friday. And then Friday.
They all filter in. They all work with each other. I love that. And just finding new recipes. Like I spent time with a couple friends away and just like adopted what they were eating. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this at home. So I've been eating like different types of salads, and like I'm eating cottage cheese again because I haven't touched it in like 10 years. I forgot I like loved it. It's just stuff like that. Like it's so easy. We made pizza bowls last night. Super cool. There's just like, there's so many things you can do. I know we're kind of going on a tangent here, but like meal prep wise, but also to make meals super interesting. They don't have to be like bro meals, like chicken, broccoli, and rice,
all right, here's a recipe for you. I just made it for their football game the other day. Cottage cheese, put in a food processor so it gets like creamy. Mix it with canned chicken and then buffalo sauce.
Oh,
put in a
chicken dip.
Buffalo chicken dip.
Damn, that's such a good idea. I love buffalo chicken dip.
But in like 1 cup, it's like 50 grams of protein.
That's a problem though for me. Like I only get like 140 grams a day. And with my creamy, like I'm like scrounging for protein. Like it sucks because my creamy is so high in protein. But that's such a good recipe.
Yeah.
Because and it's like, it's obviously like way healthier than like actual buffalo chicken dip. I gotta try that though. I would totally try that.
Just cottage cheese, and then I
love that.
Yeah, I just mix it in the food processor to make it a little bit different texture, so it's not like chunky. Yeah. You can also make I made my friend Emily, I thought she was nuts, but she made taco dip with cottage cheese.
Oh yeah. And I've seen people do sour cream or like Greek yogurt, or I guess cottage cheese with just like taco mix. It makes it a taco dip. Like so easy.
Yeah.
So easy. So many things. So many hacks.
Yeah. So is there anybody on here that has any questions for Jaclyn, metabolism, your situation? Can't bring you on live, but if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. Otherwise, is there any like any other, oh man, like I love actionable steps that you can give to somebody, coming from I feel like the majority of people conversations, I want to say, are super restrictive. They've been told 1,200 calories is like this magic number. $1,800 for guys, 1,200 for females. It's just like a doctor's prescription.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, they're always really confused when they're not losing weight.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, if you listened up earlier, that's why. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching this now, just rewind, or we just tell you about it's down regulating. But more likely than not, too, is like that 1,200 calorie sucks. You're resentful.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're resentful, you can't just like kind of go off. The next second you have a glass of wine, you want 3. And the
Mm-hmm.
second you have like chip and dip, you want to eat the whole freaking bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have any tips, tricks for time out? Like, I guess you don't even need any tips and tricks if you just like max out your metabolism, you bulletproof your metabolism, then you can go and eat, 2,400 calories and never gain the weight.
But that's the thing. People don't realize that like what you're doing is not serving you in so many ways. Because if you're, especially in a vacation setting, I love using this example. Go on a vacation eating 1,200 calories. Tell me how much you weigh when you get back, because you will be that person that eats and drinks everything because you've been restricting yourself for that long. I think the best example of this was when I went an all-inclusive vacation in Costa Rica. I ate and drink what I wanted, obviously within reason. Like I wasn't a total asshole, but I'm the type of person, like if I'm going on vacation, I'm splurging calories on drinks. And I'm going to keep my food like pretty squeaky clean the whole time. So 7 days straight, I still worked out every day. Didn't kill myself, obviously, but I came back and I lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like who can go on an all-inclusive vacation and say, if we're speaking to this audience, of course, that they can come back from a vacation and lose weight. And guys, it's all because of metabolism. If I hadn't pushed my metabolic capacity, if I hadn't like been eating 2,000 to 2,400 calories a day, that would not have happened. And people are not realizing. But of course, that's so daunting when we're having this conversation. We're like, well, I have to go eat 2,000 calories a day. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that we have to go in the direction of getting you to eat more. Everyone's obviously baseline is different. But what you're doing is not serving you in so many ways. Like you are basically setting yourself up for losing weight and regaining it back over and over and over again if you do not take care of your metabolism. And this is what we teach, how to the stuff that we've given you guys today, not only, but I'm sure you guys have talked about like the importance of resetting your metabolism, right? Which is probably part of Ryan's program. It's so important. And you guys have no fucking others like solution. There's no other option, right? Like you can't just keep cutting calories. You literally have no option but to go in this direction that we're pushing you in. And I'm sorry I'm getting all hot and bothered, but like this stuff just like, it fires me up so much because I'm sure you have the same issue, like situation when people are knocking on your door and they're like, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. And then you ask them how much they're eating and like what they're doing, like exercise wise. And you're like, well, you're literally doing all the things you're not supposed to be doing.
The really hard thing that I've been, wrestling with a lot is that a lot of the information that people are getting relayed is coming from people of authority and trust. And so like, I've been working with this trainer and this trainer helped me do like so much. And then they moved me to a 1,400 calorie diet. Like, and were they training you? Was the training the same? Was it different? What was the context of this? Because, maybe, you broke your leg and you couldn't walk. Maybe, if you're not moving half as much, maybe you could go down that low. But still, and I'm not saying that your trainers are wrong for putting you on a 1,400 calorie diet, but if they do it for a very long period of time and then you plateau and then they tell you to go lower, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit because that's the exact opposite of what we do.
Totally.
The reason is because like I can have this conversation. Well, here's the two scenarios. We could cut your calories lower. You might lose another pound, maybe another 2. You're going to plateau again. You're going to be in the same boat, but you're going to feel worse because you're literally not giving your body enough nutrients, micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. Just in 1,200 calories, it's hard to get enough vitamins and minerals for your body to function or thrive. And then you're not getting the macronutrients, the protein to recover, the healthy fats that supports your hormone system, the carbs to give you any energy. There's just no room for that when you're eating 1,200 calories. So we can go try it. We can push it lower. You're going to feel worse. You're going to plateau. Then we're probably going to have to reverse up just for your health again in the near future. Or we could save the probably 1, 2, 3 months of you trying to go harder, trying to go lower, trying to be more strict. We can spend 1 or 2 months going up and we come back right to where we are today and see fat loss again. Fat loss, not just weight loss, not just water manipulation, not losing your muscle from like burning a lot of cardio, like fat loss, which is like by definition body composition. So like getting more lean, more tone, that is the most efficient way.
Totally.
But like I hate like when you hire us or when you work with us, we're not going to entertain that option for very long because it's just not healthy, and I'm not happy with, like, that's not where I can sleep at night telling you to go. But you know, that's where human nature wants us to go. That's where, you know, it makes sense. If I eat less and I move more, I'm just going to get super lean. Well, I did that shit for like a decade, and I would just get smaller. I still had the fucking love handles. I still had like the flabby chest. Like, it always pissed me off. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I did everything that everyone ever told me to do. Like, I got these books. I have a freaking college degree in kinesiology. You know, like I had nutrition guidance from, you know, some very, very, very smart people. And I was like, oh, it's my fault. I must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
You know? But then I had a coach one time say, let's just see how much you can eat. And I'm like, well, what? Like, that doesn't make sense, really. And then it's a freaking 3,200 to 3,400 calories a day.
Amazing.
And I was literally, I had to like put apple juice into my smoothies just to get
calories in. Yeah.
And then I was snacking on peanut butter all the time, just because, like, again, like I wasn't hungry, but I was continuing to push it and just see what I had to do. So I was eating things like, you know, peanut butter and trail mix, and like, I mean, like almonds are pretty calorie dense, but like, you know, I was snacking on these things like just to push it up because I didn't want to eat 4 pounds of chicken a day.
No.
But when I got up there, holy shit, I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And granted, during the time that I did that, my workouts got better. I was building muscle. I was feeling way stronger. I lost weight. So like that was encouraging too.
Totally.
But I also think that I was able to lose weight because I was able to push way harder in the gym too. I was able to like lift more weight. I felt stronger at the bar. So those are just like some side, and like, and I think it gets out of context. Like, well, Ryan, like you're a trainer. Yeah. I fucked up so many times. Like,
we all did.
And you just can't keep making those same mistakes. Like, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, I talk to people that go on Weight Watchers, like 18 different
oh my God.
I'm going on Weight Watchers, but the program changed. I get the concept in it's eating like low calorie and tying calories to points. And they're going to
points, man.
you a point system that's puts you in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
And they have a point system that's maintenance, but like you can't have 0 point foods.
No, it doesn't. The points doesn't make sense. Anyone that comes from Weight Watchers in our program, I'm harsh, and they'll talk about their points. I'm like, fuck your points. There's no points in this. They're done. You're done. Like it doesn't matter anymore. But it's like they're brainwashed. Like they're so brainwashed with their point system. Like, I can't eat this because it's this. Like, fuck it. Like, we're just eating food. We eat what we want to eat. When we have a craving, we feed into it. Like, this is what it is, you know? But yeah, you know, like kind of with your story, same deal. Like I did the same. I mean, I was like under eating I was doing too much cardio, strength training, eating too little, wondering why I wasn't gaining any size and like in mass. I was wasting my muscle away from doing literally sprints on the treadmill every single day on top of weight training. So like they were so contradictory to each other. And I, again, hired a coach, same thing. I ended up gaining 15 to 20 pounds in 2 years. By the macro-based approach, by hiring a coach and having someone walk me through a lean gaining phase, because there was no way I was going to go through gaining that much weight on my own. And it was like muscle. Most of it was muscle, you know? If you looked at me today, you probably couldn't imagine me being 20 pounds less, but it was a thing, you know? So I feel like we all came from some kind of origin story, right? That's why we're here. And that's why we want to help you guys learn from the mistakes that we made so that you don't end up like we did.
Yeah. Just save some time, right? Like, why go through that?
Yes. And like, I don't know, the amount of people that keep saying that they want to wait or put this off. Like, it's funny because like I started bodybuilding 3 months ago and I've seen some amazing progress, and people are like, what is your secret? Like, guys, I've been training weights for 20 years. I've literally been lifting weights for 20 years. That's 20 years of training. So if you are someone that just keeps saying like, I'm going to wait, I'm going to put this off, like, y'all, time's ticking. Time is ticking. You got to start now, you know, because you're going to run out of time. And what happens then, right?
I was actually, Jaclyn was on this call with Caleb this morning. So my coach, and he like just a great point. And the thing that might scare you guys is there's no perfect timetable. We don't know how long you are necessarily going to have to, do this metabolic priming phase or a metabolic reset protocol. Your body is going to tell you when it's ready. Okay. But imagine this worst case, you spend 12 months priming your metabolism, eating appropriately, recovering your relationship with food so you don't have this binge restrict mentality of actually like feeling really good, where your daily energy is in a good spot. You don't need naps. You fall asleep when you go to bed and you wake up in the morning feeling rested. Your mood is good. Like you're a consistent mood throughout the day, no matter, like nothing just sets you off. You have a longer fuse with your kids and your husband or your wife. You feel just genuinely healthier. You have like a consistent bowel movement. Like I don't know how many people like don't have a consistent bowel. And when I say consistent, you should poop every day. And it should just be easy. It shouldn't be like forcing it. It shouldn't be diarrhea. It should be somewhere.
It shouldn't hurt.
It shouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But like have hunger cues, have cues of being full, like not have a lot of cravings and like all these different things. Imagine a world where your thoughts aren't always about weight loss and fat loss. And imagine it took a year to do that. But then once you did it, you could lose weight. You wouldn't have to focus on diet. You wouldn't have to focus on fat loss or body weight. You have all this mental energy. And like, I hate to call you out right now, but you're watching this live. You are watching this replay at some point. You are tuning in to what me and Jaclyn are saying about weight loss because you're not happy 100% with the results that you're living with. And if you are, that's amazing. I don't know if you probably worked with us already, but no, but like, there's some pain in there and there's some energy going towards things. Take that energy, figure it out. If it takes a year, 2 years or whatever, and then the rest of your life, go give that energy back to your kids, back to your husband, back to your wife, back to your family, back to your work, your job. Like you could just thrive in any situation. But I was talking to someone, they're like, if you had to give a percentage of energy that you give per day, thinking about weight loss or fat loss or diet or nutrition or exercise or fitness, what's that number? And she told me 80% of her mental energy is going towards this weight loss goal that she's never accomplished. I'm like, what are you going to do with all that? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you're not going to be thinking about exercise and diet and nutrition the rest of your life unless you get into diet and nutrition coaching. Yeah. Right. But assuming you're not going to leave your corporate job and like your family, what are you going to do with your energy? She's just like, I've never thought of that. Like that's been my thought process for the past 10 years of what diet I'm going to try next.
That's crazy.
Like, that's crazy to me. So
yeah, you're missing out on life, people.
Yeah, fix your shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it.
Is there anything else that you want to add? Anything?
Just keep it simple. I usually tell people if like they're struggling, it's just eating consistently throughout the day, every 3 to 4 hours, protein, carb, fat, fruit or vegetable, make sure you're eating enough protein, lift weights, get enough sleep, manage your stress. Simple. And it's not a secret, guys. Like this is stuff that we just like hammer home constantly. A lot of this stuff probably filters into a lot of different topics. There's no secret. It honestly comes down to that we just talked about, and consistency.
Yeah. And if you're really curious about it, go talk to the leanest person that you see in the streets. Like, how did you get so lean? And they're probably not going to tell you a supplement, a pill, a program. Like
eating 1,200 calories a day.
Really consistent for
they won't tell you that.
Yeah. It's no magical workout. It's just showing up day in day.
100%. 100%.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming live. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Am I going to see you in Orlando?
Yeah, I'm going.
Sweet.
I will be there. Are you on the Wednesday? I'm assuming.
I'll be there Sunday through Thursday.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Like your one day, is it on the Wednesday?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair. I'm sure we'll find out. Well, I'll be there. Like I'm there Tuesday to Sunday, so we'll overlap for sure.
Excellent. I'll see you there. We'll have
Sounds good. We'll have to have a pina colada. That's right.
All right, cool. All right. Good night, Jaclyn. I'll talk to you guys later.
Good night. Thanks, Ryan. See ya.
Bye-bye.